this particular project is to us. So thank you so very much for coming, for joining us to make, to actually mark this turning point in how innovation is going to take place, not just within University of Lagos, because we're cooperating beyond University of Lagos, we're cooperating with other universities, and we're cooperating with what is called street innovation. So this isn't just about what our students and our innovators do. This is about what Nigeria and beyond Nigeria does. Thank you so very much for coming, and welcome to University of Lagos.
Excellent summation by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development Services, Professor Ayodele Ashenua. Thank you very much, ma'am. Moving swiftly and quickly, the next person who will listen to this wonderful morning is the Country Manager of RISA, Alice Omishore. A round of applause for her as she steps on stage.
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Alice Omishore, and I am the Country Technical Lead on the RISA program. As he has said before, RISA stands for Research and Innovation Systems for Africa, which is a program that is being implemented by the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office and is funded by the UK government. The objective of the RISA program is to bridge the gap between research institutions and innovators through funding and technical support, primarily given to organizations that are focused on providing capacity building for the research and innovation ecosystem. And with that being said, I would just like to also welcome my colleague over here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Alice Omishore. Moving quickly to the next person to speak to us this morning, Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, UKID, Leanne Jones. A round of applause for her.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Vice Chancellor, Madam Deputy Vice Chancellor, Acting Director. It's quite nice to share this whole stage with women, actually, so I'm very happy. So thank you to the Acting Director for Innovation Technology Management Office, Dr. Abiodun, for the kind invitation. Let me try again. I'm excited to be here at the Project Innovation to Market launch event, I2M. The UK is committed to being a leading global science and tech partner. Science, technology, research, and data have a vital role to play in helping deliver our mutual priorities and contribute to resilience by tackling global challenges from climate change to health threats. We develop and maintain strong and trusted alliances to ensure that the power of science permeates across the continent to deliver impactful and transformative change. Our science, tech, and innovation work in Nigeria aims to deliver 4 key outcomes. Strengthen the Nigeria innovation and research ecosystems to support economic growth, trade, and development. Develop, test, deploy, and scale technologies and evidence-based interventions to save and improve lives. Develop long-term strategic partnerships with Nigerian partners such as the University of Lagos, the TEP Fund, the Nigerian Academy of Sciences, through targeted collaboration on mutually agreed priorities. And finally, to support the use of research, data, and evidence to improve decision-making by ourselves and our partners. We are delighted to support research capacity strengthening in Nigeria, creating pathways from research to innovation and improving the skills of innovators through our RISA program. My team, the West Africa Research and Innovation Hub, and the UK Nigeria Tech Hub, both based here in Lagos, are leading this agenda for the UK and Nigeria. This project is exciting as it brings together key stakeholders from a vast range of organizations critical to support innovation across the nation, including universities, polytechnics, research institutions, innovation hubs, industries, entrepreneurs, and policymakers. Pulling ideas and resources more formally into a research, funding, and training database repository for all stakeholders will create opportunities for joint advocacy, for policy change, for innovation, and fundraising needed for translating research into innovation. The Innovation Technology Management Office has listened to the clear messages of the need for increased collaboration between academia, industry, and innovators, actionable policies that support research, tech, and innovation, and youth empowerment through access to training, funding, resources to grow their business startups. The commitment of the leadership of the University of Lagos leaves no doubt that the project innovation to market of the ITMO will harness its reputation as the university of first choice and the preferred university for Nigeria to drive a sustainable ecosystem that delivers employment opportunities, economic growth, and community empowerment. I hope the discussions during today's launch will proffer solutions that are critical to creating a sustainable and connected ecosystem that drives meaningful opportunities for growth and jobs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Leanna Jones, excellent submission delivered by you. Knowing that I was going to be the master of ceremony for an auspicious occasion like this, I had to do a bit of research and innovation. Knowing that what we want to achieve at the University of First Choice and the nation's pride and globally is to ensure that people make research, they innovate things, and more importantly, take it to the market and make some funds out of it. The next person that would speak to us this morning, remember when I was introducing her, I said the 13th Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos. But one thing is very instructive. The research I did about her again this morning, you know, growing up, you see 1 and 3, they say it's 13. Now, the 1 and 3 is very significant to Professor Folashade Tolulokpe Ogunshola, FAS. And what do I mean? She has held several positions, but the 3-1 she held in Unilag and in Diaraba, she has always been first. First female provost of the College of Medicine, that's 1. Second, first female deputy vice chancellor development services, that's 2. And now, she's the first female vice chancellor of University of Lagos. So invariably, what I'm saying is that she has been first in 3 important places at this juncture. It's my singular honor, pleasure, delight to respectfully invite the Vice Chancellor of the University of First Choice and the nation's pride, the most revered and the most sought after university, Professor Folashade Tolulokpe Ogunshola, FAS, to deliver our remarks. That is research and that is innovative from me.
Thank you. Well, I think I'll add my voice to Professor Ashenua's welcoming you all to the University of Lagos. I think I'm going to pass by all the protocols. So protocols duly observed. But it is a pleasure to be here, and it is exciting. I think what we're doing today is fulfilling what we do innately. We are very innovative, we're very creative, and we're very entrepreneurial. What we have done in the University of Lagos in the last 10 years was to try and focus this and to make it something that can be moved to development. to improve our environment so that it's not just everybody doing what they like, but channel it in a way that it becomes strong. And so 10 years ago, under the Professor Bello, the 11th Vice Chancellor, a career path was developed for the Innovation Office and the Research Office. And then the development began. The Entrepreneurial and Skills Development Center was formed. The Research Office was developed beyond where it was. The Innovation and Transfer Office were set up. And all that brought us to this place in today's history. And it is a pleasure to be watching the unfolding of what I would call the focusing of our innovation and entrepreneurial skills. It has been very exciting to share this initiative that has the potential to transform the landscape of innovation and entrepreneurship in Nigeria. And it is my honor to introduce Project Innovation to Market, a groundbreaking venture sponsored by UKID's Research and Innovation Systems for Africa, which is aimed at nurturing innovation and accelerating the path to commercialization. This project is managed by the Innovation and Technology Management Office of the University of Lagos, which is responsible for the coordination of translational inventive works of members of the university community, emerging either from their research and development activities or non-procedural mental capital inventions. This in turn, over the long term, is a process that we hope will galvanize the university in fulfilling its mandate to society, humanity, and national development. The mandate of this office to include management of technology transfer processes for the university, in addition to the coordination of all innovation activities in the university, has led to the admirable project of the day. In a world driven by constant change and technology advancements, innovation has been the key to success for individuals, businesses, and entire economies. It is the lifeblood that fuels growth, creates jobs, and improves the quality of life for people around the globe. However, despite the abundance of brilliant ideas, many innovators face significant hurdles when it comes to turning their concepts into viable commercial ventures. And it's even tougher in Nigeria. It's very tough. So that's where we step in. That's where Project Innovation to Market steps in. This initiative recognizes the challenges that exist and also recognizes the immense potential of groundbreaking ideas, and we seek to bridge that gap between innovation and commercialization. Its primary objective is to provide innovators and researchers with the necessary resources, mentorship, and support to transform their ideas into market-ready products and services, and also to help them to recognize early how viable or not so viable those ideas might be. One of the key strengths of Project Innovation to Market lies in its holistic approach. It takes into account the multifaceted nature of innovation, recognizing that success requires more than just a brilliant idea. Through this program, participants will have access to a wide range of services, including prototype funding, training, business registration, intellectual property protection, startup funding, an incubator program, licensing, and network opportunities. This comprehensive ecosystem will empower innovators to navigate the complex journey from ideation to market launch. And University of Lagos is probably one of the best places to do this. We already have a branch of the IPPTO here. We have a lot of hubs and incubators around the campus, and we are in the University of Lagos, which is in the center of the commercial capital of Nigeria. In addition to that, part of our agenda is to continuously attract industry to University of Lagos. And I'm sure as you move through the university, one that will show you that we're really serious about this is we have the Nord Motors here, where they're assembling cars and our students are a part of it. The whole idea is bringing industry and the university closer together. Moreover, Project Innovation to Market recognizes the importance of sustainability and inclusivity in the innovation ecosystem. It aims to foster projects that have the potential to address pressing societal challenges while creating a positive impact. By encouraging participants to develop solutions that align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the nation's challenges, this program paves the way for innovations that not only drive economic growth, but also contributes to a more equitable and sustainable future. I believe that Project Innovation to Market will be a catalyst for change, unlocking the potential of countless innovators and revolutionizing industries across the board and making Nigeria a net producing economy. It will start that process. I want at this time to thank our project sponsor, RISA, and the UKID for supporting this project. I know we won it, but if you hadn't put it out, we wouldn't have won it. So thank you very much for thinking along these lines and helping us to achieve our vision. I also want to thank all the panelists that are here today who will be contributing to the discussion that we will be having. And the hope is that this will be the beginning of many more, because there's a lot to do and we are in a hurry to get it done. So I want to thank you all for coming and sharing your knowledge with us. I invite all of you to join us on this remarkable journey. Whether you're an innovator, an investor, an industry expert, or simply someone passionate about fostering change, your involvement and support will play a crucial role in making Project Innovation to Market a resounding success. Together, we can cultivate a thriving innovation ecosystem that drives economic growth, improves lives, and shapes a better future for all of us. Thank you and welcome again.
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. The greatest leader is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. And that's who my amiable Vice Chancellor is. The future-ready Vice Chancellor, Professor Folashade Tolulokwe Ogunshola, FAS, who deserves another round of applause. In case you are just coming to University of Lagos for the very first time, this is the only institution that was instituted by an act of parliament in 1962. This is the only institution when you are coming, you could access by air. In case you have a chopper, an helicopter, or a plane, we have a landing place for you. You can decide to come to Unilag by road, and you can decide to come to Unilag via the lagoon front. And because my future-ready Vice Chancellor is making frantic efforts in making sure that we are among the best in the world, he said, Sheung, I'll deliver tube to Unilag. A round of applause for her. While the VC was making an excellent speech, Professor Abubakar Damu Rashid is the Executive Secretary of Nigerian University Commission, but is here ably represented by the Director of Skills and Development and Entrepreneurship. We are glad to have in our midst Mr. Ladan Ashafa. A round of applause for him. At this juncture, presentation on innovation to markets by the Acting Director, Innovation Technology Management Office. A round of applause for Dr. Abiodun Benga Ilori.
Thank you. Please permit me to calm down because I would like to see the. Let me welcome everybody to this event once again. I would like to stand on existing protocol. My name is Abiodun Benga Ilori, and I'm the acting head of the Innovation and Technology Management Office at the University of Lagos, and also the project director for Project Innovation to Market. So, I'll quote this popular quote from a very prominent American physicist. He said, innovation is the key to this future, but the basic research is the key to future innovation. So in essence, there's a connection between the research that we do in our institutions and universities to innovation. But here is what we found out in the University of Lagos, at least from my activities and work at the Innovation and Technology Management Office. We realized that we have a lot of research grants coming into the university. Between 2018 and 2020, we had 168 grants secured by researchers in the University of Lagos. Sorry. Also, the year 2021 alone, the University of Lagos secured about 2 billion naira as research grants from 97 research grants. And we are not there yet, but it's not small. Because this project is a national project, we have over 13,000 publications published in Nigeria in the year 2020 alone, just in Scopus-based journals. And in that ranking, I'm citing Wikipedia. Nigeria ranked 50 of 224 countries. We are above average. But guess how many translated to innovation? Less than 300 innovations, and not just from Nigerian researchers, but also from industries too. So you see that we are not doing so well in that regard. Matter of fact, innovation, Nigeria's innovation index is just 16.9 of 100. And I know that most of you are probably familiar with this ranking. We ranked in 2022, 113 of 128 countries. And what was surprising to me is that we even ranked lower than Ghana with just 4,000 publications. to our innovators to be able to develop those prototypes. We will be, okay. Go back to. We are sorry for, so that is a solution. I mean, that's a problem that we hope one of our innovators will be solving in the project. We have a lot of brilliant submissions from our innovators, and we hope that by the next time that we invite you, you'll be seeing some of their innovation during the pitching events. Okay. In order not to waste time, I'm thinking that. Okay. I'm waiting for you to share it. I mean, okay, I think I should carry on. Please, can you scroll to the, move on to the next slide. I don't have. Okay, I think now. I'm just going to control it from here. So, I don't know. Okay. So one of the things we plan to have is the training for the innovators to be able to help them develop the skills needed to be able to go to the market with their product. And we provide access to laboratories and equipment. We'll be doing that in collaboration with a lot of hubs in the country. We would also be providing prototype funding to them. The problem is the network. So also we'll be supporting with IP filing. We'll help support them by filing IP for those that have novel inventions, and we'll be giving advisory support and mentoring. Also, we'll be helping them with industry linkage, using the network that we have, the brand name of the university. For those that choose the startup pathway, we will support them with business registration. We'll place them in an incubator program, and we will also be providing a small seed funding to them and co-work space and equipment that they can use at that initial stage of the business. There's something that is also unique about this program, and that is that the focus is on that is gender equity, social imbalance. We have a few people in that category, a few groups in that category. We have the youths from the age of 16 to 35, because we admit 16-year-old into the universities, and we don't want to leave them out. So our youth is categorized as 16 years to 35. We also have women that we will be focusing on in this project. We will be focusing on people with disability, and that is why you can see that we have an interpreter here, because we have a few people with disability that are going to be part of the project. And the project will also be focusing on illiterates in Nigeria too, those that we call street innovators. Another important thing about this project is that in order to be able to have a vibrant innovation ecosystem, we will be developing what we call the Innovation Bank, High Bank software platform. It will be our platform for managing all our innovations from ideation to commercialization. And it will be a platform where we can facilitate partnerships between the innovators and other parties such as governments, industries, investors, innovation hubs, and so on. So in the project, we have, I am the project director, as I've introduced before, but we have other project directors. We have the Director of Innovation, Mr. David Alozie. We have the Director of Incubator Program, Professor Akim Mamuda, the Director of Consortium, Dr. Patrick Okonji, and the Director of Industry Partnership, Professor Sunday Adebisi, and the project manager is Mr. Chukwuemeka Nwaokolo. We will be working in collaboration with hubs in Unilag. We have the NIT hub, NIT IT hub, headed by Dr. Udumuiwa. And we have the Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Lab, which is headed by Dr. Chika Yenkabanjo. We have the Unilag Fab Lab, headed by Dr. Temitope Onumiya. We have the Nest 360 Design Studio, which is managed by Engineer Williams Barr. And of course, Ajip Innovation Lab at the Innovation Technology Management Office. Also, we'll be partnering with research institutions across Nigeria and also with hubs in various locations. Like I said, we have a lot of innovators from all over the nation, from the north, from the east, and we won't want them to be traveling to to Lagos if they need to produce their prototypes and all of that. So we will be working with many hubs and research institutions that have facilities that we can use in the project. So how can you support? Like I said, unfortunately, I can't show the figure that I have in the ecosystem. We will be working with venture capitalists to fund and mentor our innovators towards commercialization. We will be working with the industry, especially on our incubator program as facilitators and all of that, to be able to commercialize this invention. We will also be working with government. We have representatives of NOTAP and UC here today, so that we can be able to have favorable policies that support innovation. And also we'll be working with research institutions towards, so that we can collaborate with them to use their infrastructure, hubs also to use their infrastructure. So finally, the benefit of I2M, it will be a platform, like I said, for innovators to showcase their products and services to potential investors and customers. So we hope that at the end of the project, which is 1 year, the project would have contributed to Nigeria's economic growth by creating jobs and solving a societal problem. Thank you. If you want to contact us on the project, you can go to our website, innovationtomarket.org, or send an email to us on project I2M@unilag.edu.ng. And we have a lot of, you can also get to us through using our various social media handles. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Acting Director, Innovation Technology Management Office, Dr. Abiodun Benga Ilori. For some few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, Power Holding Company of Nigeria interfere with power supply. Yesterday, I understood better something. A professor of genetics, Professor Khalid Olajide Adekoya, delivered his inaugural lecture. And he said, is it all in the genes? I didn't mean the genes that you put on. I mean the genes. So I understood better that is in the genes of NEPA that migrated to PHCN to always disappoint themselves and not us. So once again, we are sorry for that small break in transmission that happened. We are back and we are better. Call to action, Engineer David Alozie. A round of applause for him.
All protocols duly observed. It's quite a pleasure to speak right after some very powerful women here. And please, MC, just take notes. At least when you're adding the first man to speak after these powerful women. Thank you very much. According to Charles Darwin, considered to be the father of evolution, he quoted, "It is a long history of humankind and animal kind too. Those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed." Presently, we've heard the presentation by the project director, and she mentioned the different part of what we're trying to do. And basically, what we are trying to do is something that we all are very passionate about. For years, we've longed for opportunities to do something like this in our country, Nigeria. And when we started getting applications, we noticed that there's a strong drive to do something, but some of these youth, they lack some kind of support. And thank God, RISA and SDO came through, and we're able to do something we actually want to do. But we understand that innovation is a vague word, which we might working with some executives from companies, they somehow try to avoid that innovation word, because in a way it could sound very vague. Companies could continue spending money and not actually have value for that. And because we understand that for us to get some very objective outcome, we understand we need partnerships. And the kind of partnership we're looking for partnership from the private institutions, the government, the international organizations. And what are we trying to do? Presently, we have over 500 innovators and researchers who have applied for this program and who we are taking through a process. And what we're trying to do is take their innovation. So for those applying, we're not asking you to say, okay, how many customers do you have already? We are just focused on, do you have a proof of concept? Do you have like an MVP that could really amount to something? And what we're trying to do, we're taking them through a pipeline of trying to help them improve their project, their work. And as the director mentioned, there are several hubs in Unilag to help them. For example, at the hub we have here in the Innovation Hub, there are 3D printers for prototyping, there are a lot of facilities, internet, and other equipment around here. So basically, we're trying to eliminate the issues they face with trying to get their product out. We agree that trying to run business or trying to innovate in Nigeria is actually a tough one. So what we're trying to do is give them a soft landing. And we also understand that we can't innovate in silos. Because if you are innovating, you need to work with people who are going to use it, or people who can facilitate, or people who could connect you. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to create a synergy with the industry. In other clients, you understand, like in America and the rest of them, the educational institution powers the industry because they innovate. Recently I was going through some research done around generative AI, and some of those works were done by some researchers in the university. Then the private institutions are now using it to create change, the companies and all around them. So what we're trying to do is, in the process of taking these innovators through this thing, we are looking for people in the private industries who will say, oh, I like your idea. My company might need this. Let me mentor you, right? Okay, why don't you tweak your product this way or this way? Why don't you focus on this kind of market? Why don't you do, or don't worry, innovate, I will be your first off-taker. So those are the kind of partnership we're looking for. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people who are interested to take this forward. And in doing so, we want to we want you to join a forum where everybody will be together, like on the iBank platform that was mentioned. We want to have you on a portal where you could access all these innovators and their work and be able to update you about what is actually going on, so you could know how you could help. Are you an investor, or do you have some ideas that could help them get better? Do you want to mentor them, or do you want to facilitate on our online learning platform to help them get better? Because we understand that the after effect and the result of what we're doing is very significant. It is arguably like one of the first of its kind in Nigeria. We were trying to take people with great ideas and help them launch out. So we are doing the call to action, even to the government. Your government, like the NOTAP, MCDMB, and National University Commission, or for example, for NOTAP, the process of patenting, because we're going to help some people patent their ideas and take them to the next level, the process of patenting is a bit slow. We're looking at how could we work with, like NOTAP, how could we make this faster, how could we digitize and get this working and take it to the next level. So you're a private institution, you're an investor, and you really want to support what we're doing. I understand that most of us that are here, even from the industry, most of us really want something good out of our nation. That is why we are doing this. Otherwise we'll just be doing our personal business, like me too. When this idea was coming, we were about to pull this together, before this was applied for, we noticed that there's something that could come out of this, and we started working towards it. Some of us left our business to ensure that we support to ensure that this comes out. And we are calling everybody. Are you an investor? Are you from the private institution? Are you from the government? Are you an international organization? Just like how SCDO and RISA helped us to come to this level. Because one of the problems about innovation is that sometimes it's not easy to find some money to try to do what you want to do. We always wanted to do this, but there are a lot of setbacks. But with the grant from RISA and the SCDO, it helps us, what, let's do this thing we've been longing to do for several years. So we are calling on everybody to take this forward. And what we are doing now, we would like you to, indicate your interest by going to a link to put down your details. And what we want to do is to keep you informed about what is going on. And if you see there's a way you could help, then you let us know. Then if you see there's a way we could work together, you let us know. We have innovation product managers on the team who are trying to help these guys get to somewhere. And we will really love everybody to get involved. All right, now I would like you to do something briefly. I would like us to go to innovationtomarket.org. If you check your booklet out there, you see the address there on the front page, innovationtomarket.org. But what you're going to do, you're going to do a /CTA. CTA, the abbreviation means call to action. We would like you to put in your details in there because we would like to work with you. We would like your contributions. We would like to see, how we could all work together, to make this happen. And the form doesn't take up to more than 1 minute to fill. I could, while we're here, I would implore you to do that, quickly, so that we could make this happen. We understand that by your own contribution, you don't know how much impact you could be making, how much jobs we could be creating, how much kind of balance we are trying to bring into the system to take this nation forward. And as we do that, we know that our nation will go to the next level, and this could be deployed to other places, to other universities, and we would rewrite the system and make a great change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer David Alozie. Like I've always said, I'm a foreman on a construction site. However, the owner of the house wants the house to be built. Is how we're going to build it. I'm going to tweak something a bit. I've been directed to do so. Before we get into the panel session, just very quickly, it won't be nice for us to have Mr. Ladan Ashafa, the Director of Skills and Development and Entrepreneurship from the Nigerian University Commission here, and he will not give, even if it's a short remark. At this juncture, I respectfully want to invite Mr. Ladan Ashafa to give us a short remarks before we get into that session. A round of applause for him. Please, we can do better.
The management of the University of Lagos, ably chaired by the most and the only female vice chancellor in the history of University of Lagos, other academic and non-academic staff here present, students, you are all welcome to this important program. I have listened with keen interest the presentation made by the two speakers or resource persons. And I want to confirm to you, Ma, that the University of Lagos has a very good academic standing with respect to collaboration and innovation. I'm saying so because I was part of it at certain stages or period, right from the time when Professor Adetokunbo Shofolowe of blessed memory was the Dean of Sciences. I happened to be a secretary to a committee that came to University of Lagos to some research project, along with the research project conducted by, is it biochemistry or chemistry department? Then Professor Babajide Alo was the head of department. And one of the recommendations led to the establishment of BSc Marine Engineering and subsequent accreditation of the programs. And it goes like this to Professor is it Nuruddin? When he was VC, very ambitious, effort in terms of crossing the university, making it to be, profiling internationally. That was the time an office was established for other activities of the universities, including research. Was it in North Korea or Korea? I could. South Korea. Then again, the immediate past Vice Chancellor also did a lot in terms of ensuring that innovation and research are the pressing or priority of the university. I happen to be in University of Lagos for an assignment where the presentation that was just made are valid and confirmed to be true, because I have some of these documents. I want to stress, that one of the issues that need to be given attention here is the issue of collaboration, which is a feature of modern sciences. She has talked a lot with regard to innovation and innovation to market, which is a transition from research to innovation, then to market. But there are issues that need to be, attention need to be paid on. The issue of patenting, prototyping, how you will get your value to scale through to market is very, very important. And also, what is being launched today is in tandem with the paradigm shift by the National Universities Commission, where the Commission developed what we call CC-MAS, that is Core Curriculum Benchmark Minimum Academic Standard. The CC-MAS is developed in such a way that it has innovation and entrepreneurship flavors, and it is at its second stage of implementation. The second stage of implementation is to allow universities to develop the remaining 30% of the content of the CC-MAS based on peculiarities and comparative advantages. Right now, the Commission is preparing to have a meeting or a program where all the directors of academic planning will converge to look at the remaining 30%. The content is for all the academic programs taught in Nigerian universities. So it is a shift of paradigm, and the Commission is working seriously in collaboration with other private sectors, particularly the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, to be able to ensure that the product resulting from innovation has a place in the market. So I want to commend this effort, and also to assure you, that the Commission is always willing to collaborate with any institution that has any value to add, not only to the system, but not only to the community, but to the nation at large. So on this note, I want to read the goodwill message of the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, who is unavoidably absent, but is with us here in spirit, and asked me to convey his goodwill to this important gathering. I am delighted to address the esteemed gathering of eminent academics at this very important event of the launch of Project Innovation to Market, that is 12M, which seeks to ensure, among others, provision of end-to-end support, guidance and funding for prototyping, patenting, training and business registration readily available for innovations and groundbreaking groundbreaking research outcomes. You will recall that the federal government of Nigeria had earlier expressed the intention of lifting about 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. Given the desire and with the impact of education in societies, they need to put in place practices that will encourage entrepreneurship and enhance innovations. Quality research is imperative in achieving the express intention of government, aside the fact that it will also impact on the economy positively. The Commission is aware that entrepreneurship centers in the Nigerian universities have over the years contributed immensely to community development through activities carried out in such localities. On our own part as a commission, we have incorporated entrepreneurship concept into all academic programs taught in our universities in order to promote innovative ideas and policies that will not only make students or graduates become entrepreneurs, but also university themselves. You will also know that technology, services, and ideas birthed from entrepreneurship has a limitless power of wealth being able to help themselves upon graduation. Graduates from our universities should therefore not just seek to be employed, they should be inculcated with a mindset that will not only help them identify gaps, opportunities, and challenges, but also to help them deploy their skills or potentials to add value to the society. On our ultimate vision for Nigeria's economy is the one driven by innovation. Innovation economies create jobs faster, and so will also address Nigeria's challenges of unemployment, which stand currently at about 40%, through the creation of new opportunities in the chain of invention or innovation to the market. As important as the government's role is in promoting innovation, an innovation economy requires businesses, including individual firms and the organized private sector. There must be a market for innovation, and that invention and innovations requires funding by venture capital firms and by large opportunities through research and development. It is noteworthy that we have an impressive local pool of talented innovators in our country, but we celebrate them and their prototypes only on TV or in the pages of newspapers. Little or nothing happens afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to state that the National Universities Commission, being the statutory quality assurance agency for higher education in Nigeria, is currently leading the interdisciplinary discourse through its active collaboration with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group to review the benchmark minimum academic standard bid to integrate the basic knowledge and competencies highlighted by the organized private sectors and employers of labor in the academic curricula of Nigerian universities. The Commission will continue to encourage Nigerian universities with the intent to establish new academic programs in emerging fields to be more futuristic in terms of market-ready innovations and interdisciplinary programs at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels with potentials to solve pertinent socio-economic challenges bedeviling the nation. On this note, I wish to commend Research and Innovation System for Africa, RISA, for their immense contributions toward the recognition of the importance of project innovation to market and its implementation for socio-economic development in Nigeria. Distinguished audience, I thank you all for your attention and do have an impactful discourse. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ladan Ashafa, Director of Skills and Development and Entrepreneurship of Nigerian University Commission. One thing is certain, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, Executive of Nigerian University Commission, is Happy University of Lagos. So whenever my Vice Chancellor and members of management appear before them, all we'll just be hearing is one word: approved, approved, approved. Thank you very much, sir. Be our conveyor belt. Tell them that we are doing well, and you have seen the progress Unilag is making. Well, owing to exigency of time is fast spent. We'll move to the next stage. And at this juncture, I respectfully want to thank and appreciate my Vice Chancellor, Professor Folashade Tolulokpa Ogushola, FAS, a round of applause for her. My Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development Services, Professor Ayodele Victoria Ashenua, a round of applause for her. Alice Omeshore, Research and Innovation Systems for Africa, RISA, a round of applause for her. My very good friend who has promised to take me to UK, Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, UKAID, Liana Jones, thank you very much. And the last but not the least, our very own Acting Director for Innovation Technology Management Office, Dr. Abiodun Benga Ilori. Thank you all to my interpreters also for doing an excellent job. I would pause for a while and leave the stage for our Director, Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Center, Professor Sunday Adebisi, who is the moderator for the next session. Ladies and gentlemen, he's vast about those who are to come on this stage, and I want to leave the stage for him. I'll take a break, and I will be right back. I wish you all a happy listening, but one thing is certain: we have erudite scholars that are going to be talking to us this wonderful afternoon. Over to you, Professor Sunday Adebisi, as I take a break. It's the moderator for this session. A round of applause for him once again.
Thank you very much, everyone. I think we can put our hands together for ourselves, the extent to which we've gone. Thank you very much. I actually have several distinguished panelists here today. I will just begin to take them one by one to the podium. I'll be very fast, because I know our time is quite well spent. The first person I introduce to you, it's Inyoluwa Aboyode. That is the founder of Future Africa. Inyoluwa Aboyede finished from the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, where he received his Bachelor of Arts in Legal Studies. Inyoluwa is currently the CEO and General Partner of Fund for Africa Future, popularly known as Future Africa. He is the co-founder of Flutterwave and Andela. He has been recognized as a World Economic Forum of Young Global Leader and a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, among other awards and fellowship. Welcome with me, Mr. Inyoluwa Aboyede. Unilag was part of the Andela project when it was starting, so we're very, very involved in that. You're welcome. The next on my list, so please sit my guest for me. Okay, let's take it, like that, yeah. Thank you very much. The next on the list is no any other person than the supporter of the university who's been with us, Adenike Adeyemi. That is the Executive Director of Faith Foundation. He's a social innovator with 20 years experience, developing funding and advocating for high-impact programs and policies for entrepreneurs and young people. She is the Executive Director for Faith Foundation, Nigeria's foremost business incubator, which has connected 240,000 aspiring and emerging Nigerian entrepreneurs to knowledge, support, and resources to enable them start, grow, and scale at their businesses. She is equally a 2023 Google Leader to Watch. Welcome with me, Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director, Faith Foundation. Thank you very much. She just did something for us recently too, that someone from my hub won a whopping 120,000 euros. Thank you very much, Adenike. You've been a very good support to the University of Lagos. I think you can do better as students. All right, thank you. The next person on my list is Juliet Aiman, and is a Nigerian businesswoman, a technology expert and social entrepreneur, and currently the country director for Google in Nigeria, where she leads the company initiative and investment to support the growth of Nigerian digital economy. She has received several awards and recognition for her work in technology and social entrepreneurship, including being named one of the Forbes Africa's 20 Power Women in 2020. Welcome with me, Juliet Muhan. Thank you for being here. I have on my list the only academic in the midst. You know, this is not complete without a professor. And I have with me Professor Amuda, Akim Amuda. We usually call him Professor M.O.H. Amuda. He holds the Faculty Chair of Wedding Process Analysis and Surface Modification at the University of Lagos. He was the pioneer head of the Innovation Unit at the University of Lagos, facilitating the first set of about 20 institutional patents for the university in various innovation. He is a council member of the African Network of Scientific and Technological Institutions. Welcome with me as we bring, all right, it's already here. You know, professors are very fast. Thank you very much, you know, for coming on board, you know, even before I bring you on board. All right. We equally have here another person, a very good partner of the university, Teju Abisoye. Teju is the Executive Secretary of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, an agency that supported 34,772 MSMEs by creating program structure to provide financing and leverage for MSMEs, development for youth, and promote technology innovation in enterprises. She's an alumna of Year's Women Leadership Program. She is a lawyer and has received expert training in social and development finance from Oxford and Stellenbosch Business School. She's been a very good friend that I can always welcome and call at any point in time. Teju Abisoye, let's put our hands together as we welcome her on board. Thank you for always joining us. Teju was with me in Kenya, even when I needed her to be there. Thank you very much, Teju. So, the last person is joining us online. She's here virtually, and he's here virtually, okay, and that is Ian Baker. That is the editor and publisher of the Groundbreakers. He is dedicated to showcasing how research and innovation make the world a better place. Ian's background includes digital media, entrepreneurship, strategy and innovation, education, and product development. He holds MBA from Cornell, Johnson Graduate School of Management, and Queen Smith School of Business. Can we put hands together as we welcome Ian Baker? Thank you very much, panelists. Thank you for your time, and I equally want to welcome the various experts in the industry, InterSwitch, Espanso, the CEO of Espanso, and everyone that is there. Thank you very much. So I quickly move to Ross. We have a quick business today, innovation to market. Let me set the ground rolling by at least, you know, alluding to some basic things. The Global Innovation Index 2022 captures innovation performance of the world economies by tracking the most recent global innovation trends among countries of the world. Nigeria ranked 114 among 122 other countries of the world, and Nigeria ranked 13th in sub-Saharan Africa, with Mauritius and even South Africa ranking top 2, and within the top 80 global innovation index, you know, in the world. The top innovation economies by the region of the world shows Chile leading in Latin America, yes, United States in North America, Switzerland in Europe, India in Central and Southern Asia, Republic of Korea in Southeast Asia, Oceanic, and Switzerland in Europe, which has been leading. Switzerland has been leading for 12 consecutive years in innovation, in the innovation space in the entire world. Now the question is, what did this nation, who are leading in the various regions, what did they do right? There are the 7 innovation pillars, which include institution, human capital and research, infrastructure, market sophistication, business sophistication, knowledge and technology output, and creative output. In the resilient nature of Nigeria, despite the nation level of investment in R&D, that is as low as 0.2% of its GDP, comparable to the average of 2.4% in other developed economies, with a low indicator in quality and quantity of human capital, Nigeria still, as of today, ranks as an emerging leading hub of entrepreneurship on the continent of Africa, attracting several millions of dollars in equity funding for startups, such as fintech, edtech, agritech, and e-commerce. Nigeria even came top in Google Black Funders Fund, BFF, for Startup in Africa last year, winning 23 slots from 60 eligible startups across Africa. Nigeria has produced many successful tech companies and unicorns, like Flutterwave is air-seated, Interswitch is air-seated, Andela, here, one time, Andela, now another thing. Paystack, here with us. As we continue the innovation journey of Nigeria today, from University of Lagos, the University of First Choice and the nation's pride, we welcome our panelists to treat our physical and virtual audience to other factors that they believe will further strengthen the innovation ecosystem of Nigeria for a better development and wealth creation like Switzerland, China, and India. You're welcome. You now see our thought, and we want you to see, is it possible for us to beat this nation? And I think we can do that. Can we put our hands together, please, for this wonderful Nigerian that are here? Thank you very much. How we manage? Never mind. Okay. This is how we're going to run it. I've introduced you, so I won't waste time on introduction again. So you will be speaking 3 times. The first time will be 3 minutes apiece. We'll do another 3 minutes apiece. The last one will be 2 minutes. So each of you will have 8 minutes. And I know you are CEOs, so you're going to manage the time for me very well. And I trust you very, very well. And I know you do a good job. Let's put our hands together for them, ahead of time, because I know they're going to do a very good job. Thank you very much. I'm going to start with Inyi. So, give me a minute. All right. Inyi, in view of the future, what sectors of the economy do you think innovation will drive as a place for Nigerian innovators to focus their strengths? Because we've seen you as great innovators, and you have jumped from one, arena to the other. So which area should we focus on now? Thank you very much. Is it on? Okay, you use mine.
Thank you very much, sir. Because we don't have a lot of time, I'll just jump straight into my thoughts on the question that has been asked and allow all the protocols to be duly observed. My sense about where our country is going, just from a macro standpoint, is the fact that the fundamentals of the economy are shifting rather quickly, right? So if you think about Nigeria 60 years ago, it's primarily a commodities-based economy. And by commodities, I mean primarily agricultural commodities, right? And then sometime in the 70s and the 80s, we transformed to oil and gas as sort of our mainstay, mostly crude oil, not really a lot of gas. And then we attempted a failed experiment in industrialization sometime in that period as well. And it just plainly, we lost the plot, and Asia took over and won the war. And where we are right now is such that, I think the most valuable jobs and economic opportunities being created are being created on the internet. And that's why the last 10 years of innovation in Nigeria in particular have really been centered around technology and software. However, the truth of the matter is that it's not enough. Right? You can't really build an economy on software and the web. You actually have to root it in physical infrastructure. So when we think about where innovation needs to go, there are kind of 4 cardinal points that we need to be extremely focused on. I think the first is the optimization of human potential. So basically education. And I mean, to be very honest, one of the first things that need to go is the concept of a university as a business can serve all these people. So just those 3 things, I think you're going to see quite a bit of innovation in those directions where, first of all, how do you optimize human potential by identifying and developing talent at scale? Number 2, how do you rethink infrastructure by building on distributed infrastructure, specifically in connectivity and power? And number 3, how do you rethink markets so that you can access economic opportunity on the basis of demographics and not geography?
Thank you very much, Ian. Can we let's put on together for this amazing way of starting this conversation. Adenike, very quickly, it's your turn to speak on the entrepreneurship landscape, and what are policy factors that you consider as stifling to innovation in Nigeria? Why you heard the director the other time from close to like 340-something thousand, papers innovation, only 300, we've been able to really successfully take to innovation.
Thank you. So I'll speak from the context of an annual index that we've started to do from the last 3 years, the State of Entrepreneurship in Nigeria report. I think from a demographic perspective, what we're seeing is that we're seeing increasingly more young people leading and running businesses. So at least 67% of people that run businesses across board, even not just startups, but looking at micro, small, and medium enterprises are led by young people from 35 years and below. And they make up about 50 to 67% of that space. We're also seeing from a demographic perspective, also women, slightly below 40%, hinging on that, but still in Nigeria, much higher than continent-wide and even global numbers in terms of women leading entrepreneurship. One of the things we do in that report is also look at 5 indicator areas. So business performance, so business growth, survival, mortality, and the like. Entrepreneurship skills, you can have an idea, but if you don't understand how to build a business, you won't be able to take it far. Adoption and use of innovation, digital technology and skills, business and regulatory environment, and then perception of opportunities. What we've seen consistently in the last 2 years is that perception of opportunities is very, very high. So despite how hard and challenging it is to build a business, even in Nigeria, people still are very excited and they look at the entrepreneurial potential, hence the increasing number of people that are running businesses. But from what we've also said, the regulatory environment is the lowest and continues to be the most challenging. From a policy space, and since the conversations are around innovation, I think the 2 landmark things that have happened in the last 6 to 8 months is, first of all, the pass of the Startup Act. And I think that is very, very significant because for the first time, you have a collaborative bill that was put together and is able to enable and ensure that anyone that has innovative ideas, particularly with the startup focus, is able to hopefully able to start up, really get funding for their business, even incentivizing people who are also raising funds for investing in startups, and also the regulatory hurdle aspect of it. And I would encourage a lot of our students who've not even gone through the Startup Act to also go through it. The third thing I would say is from an advocacy aspect, because one of the things we don't really talk about from a policy space is also the structures in place to enable existing legislation. And the representative from the NUC inferred that right now, over the last 2 years, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group has been working with the Nigerian Universities Commission through the Triple Helix Roundtable in a way that facilitates and ensures that the curriculum that is being, the way the design and the implementation of the curriculum is such in a way that meets with the needs of the macroeconomic and the market environment. And it's very important to talk about that because part of the challenges, at least we see from my end, is not that the intent of the curriculum is not there. Sometimes it's in the application. And so even when you say you're teaching entrepreneurship or innovation, if you're still teaching it from a very theoretical perspective, you won't get the outcome that you desire. You won't get the commercialization and you won't be able to get those products and services to market. So those 3 elements are the things that, that really are in the space of it. But the number 1 challenge is still the regulatory environment. And you can look at it in maybe 3 buckets. First is the ability to be able to quickly start and build a business. There have been improvements, we'll acknowledge that, made from the from PEBEC, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, over the last 2 years in particular, through a lot of executive orders that has made it easier for anybody who just has an idea and quickly wants to register it with CAC. But it can be better in so many ways. You should be able to register your business in 2 hours if you want to do that. But I think the other challenge is then all the other regulatory agencies speaking to each other. So because there are, depending on even the sector you're looking to play it, if you're playing in financial services, the regulatory compliance. If you're playing in agricultural space, the regulatory compliance. So being able to warehouse the data of a venture or an enterprise in a way that if any agency wants to then also requires the person to get approval, they're able to see all of that information. Because you as a business, a lot of times the founder, particularly younger people, are focused on, taking the ideas and building it. But it then gets to a point that there's so many regulatory hurdles to cross. And because the regulators are not speaking with each other, are not sharing data, and it's not housed in a place, then that's a problem. And the systemic challenge of that problem is that we do not have, in one view, the data around how businesses are doing and performing. So even some of the data we have there, the assumption data that you get, you can't, unlike like in the US, you go to the USBA can go to the Census Bureau and say, okay, this number of businesses were started, this number of businesses were closed. And that also creates a challenge where people do not then want to register and comply because of all the challenges they have to experience. Thank you.
Amazing. I think so. Are we in the house? I think it's amazing. Can we put our hands together for that? Thank you very much, Adenike. So, Juliet, we pass the ball to you and to have your thought on this. The fact that it is understood that the path to innovation in Nigeria is non-linear. It's non-linear, yeah. So this implies that there are real innovations from the guys on the streets, the informal sector. From a tech giant perspective, what is Google doing to encourage innovation from that space? Because as some who cannot read and write, yet they're great innovators.
Thank you very much. And just to say, it's really great to see the launch of this Innovation to Market initiative at University of Lagos. Innovation is really important. There's a lot of great talent in this environment, and being able to support, harnessing the great ideas out there into viable products and businesses that can contribute to the economy is really great. So glad to be part of this. You're absolutely right. Ideas can come from anywhere, and so we can see innovation in multiple dimensions. I think there are a few things that are important. First of all, fundamentally, it's important to build capacity amongst people, right? And not just regular education. In the world today, digital literacy is to society what basic literacy was a few years back, right? It's like the level playing field, the basic starting point. And so it's important that, digital skills and competencies are, developed among people at scale, because that would also help them to be able to package and share relevant ideas with the wider audience beyond their immediate environment. And one of the things that we've done is to invest heavily in just raising digital capacity and engagements. We have an initiative to train 10 million Africans over a period of time with digital skills for free. That's been going on offline and online as well. And we've also been, investing a lot in supporting startups, right? On the one hand, technology startups, but actually, as part of our Google for Startups initiative, which is the umbrella initiative, we have some specific offerings that are focused on a broader segment, including the informal sector that you mentioned. So, for example, we are working with Faith Foundation. We put forward $1 million in grants to support female entrepreneurs across board, including the informal sector. And this is just really providing mentoring, training, capacity building, and grants to really help them take their ideas to market successfully. We did something similar with the Tony Elumelu Foundation last year. We invested $3 million for, a similar outcome. And we have an initiative called Hustle Academy, where we're working broadly with small, medium businesses across sectors, including the informal sector, to just really help their hustle, if I can put it that way. which is really, giving you all the tools and the supports, the collaborative environment as well to just really, scale your business and build viable businesses. So, a number of initiatives around that. And I think more and more, it's great that we're able to, not just, with the work we're doing at Google, initiatives like this and the work that other organizations are doing to just really help to, those great ideas out there, right? People looking at creative ways to solve problems, that we can really provide support to take those to market.
Well, you can do better for Google. That's great. Considering the informal sector, and I didn't get from that $1 million, amount that should come to Lagos. I have about up to like 32,000 female in this university. So, it can be an ecosystem where we get them trained properly for you. All right. Thank you very much. Let's put hands together for, yeah. You said? Oh, don't worry. So they have some project they do in social performance too, around the community, in the wire, and all of those things. Yeah, they work with the informal sector a lot. Professor Hakeem Amuda, in your experience, what are some challenges that academic institutions face when trying to collaborate with the industry partners? How can these challenges be addressed? Because you're a professor, so we'll give you many bullet questions to answer. So how can these challenges be addressed? What measures do you think can be put in place to encourage more academic industry collaboration in Nigeria, particularly in the technology and innovation space? Maybe I just run over it again. We want to, from the experience you have had, why is it a bit difficult for academic institutions to collaborate with the industry partners, and what are the challenges that they face when they do so? And what do we need to do to encourage this happening very well? And how do you think that, the technology and innovation space can both be pushed forward by academic and industry?
Thank you. I think I will start from the last question. In trying to build capacity or grow technology and innovation space, the main challenge is that, as Mr. Inyolu has said, you have to look at the market, or what you call the value, the utility. And where you have a disconnect between what the academia is doing and what the industry player or the market player is engaged in, then you have a challenge in onboarding technology and innovation as it were. We have an ecosystem that is driven majorly by our students with so much potentials, ideas. And we are not tapping into that yet because there is no platform to really onboard whatever they do, as it were, and to reach the various markets. We are not created by design to enter the market. So the only way we can enter the market is to have a platform through which we can interface or engage with, one, established players, two, items or agencies or entities that we call startups, through which some of these our students with so much potential ideas can actually could be incubated. And there should be a framework which presently we do not have. And this again will take me to the second issue, which is challenges being faced by university in consummating industry partnership. One is that there is no national strategy. Two, there is lack of convergence of goals. I, as a researcher, am pursuing a particular goal towards career fulfillment. The industry is pursuing a career goal towards three things: offering of service, which we call utility, and also to generate revenue or income and grow prosperity. The third aspect is also about ensuring that we have what we now call today about sustainable production, sustainable consumption. There is that disconnect. The other aspect that is also driving that challenge is trust. This trust has three elements: the trust of capacity, the trust of infrastructure, the trust of ability to deliver timely. To the industry, time is a resource that they cannot wait for. In the university, we have a protocol. The industry does not have that patience. So we need to find a way around which to sort of address this. For instance, I had an experience when I started very early in the system. I was seriously into consultancy. And we got one job from one of the IOCs. Their well-head had issue while pumping. And they brought the work to us. We developed the solution framework. And at the end of the day, that work or that job was taken outside. Why? Because the link person there was our student, our ex-student, who has been taken probably to different part of the world. And he has seen infrastructure. He knew what he was exposed to when he was here. So he is now seeing that disconnect. So there is that element of trust. Can these people really deliver based on the infrastructure that I've seen here relative to what we have here? The other bit of it that is also affecting this collaboration is, as I said, lack of national strategy. What is our national strategy? As the representative of the NUC said, probably the government is saying we want to take 100 million people out of poverty. What is the framework? What is the impact? Today, our demography is telling us that we have a very youthful demography. We are not taking care of that part. So because we lack that strategy, industry cannot latch in to come and sort of address the capacity gap in terms of infrastructure. We have a department, chemical engineering department. They have a unit, a lab that we can convert to startup, medium scaling, where you can grow business within the Unilag, not automobile. What that will do is that, one, it builds capacity. Then it also rubs on the operational cost of the business, because irrespective of whatever it is, power supply is about 18 to 20 hours on campus here. What that does is that you have opportunity to be part of faculty, okay, where you now grow the capacity of the student in that space. But we do not have that existing framework. And as a result, what that does is that there is a disconnect. Okay. The third thing, lastly, is that we also need to change our curriculum. We need to declutter our curriculum. The curriculum as we have it today sort of stifle innovation from the students. And University of Lagos has come up with a program we call EBIC, where we want to expose our students very early to all these aspects or touch point of entrepreneurship and innovation. Entrepreneurship is not just entrepreneurship. It is knowledge-driven entrepreneurship where you are offering for value, skill, capacity that will drive and grow prosperity and wealth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Let's put our hands together for... So the next round for Prof will be 2 minutes. So I've added your 1 minute to this one. But thank you, very, wonderful, because you needed to finish that thought. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. What are some of the successful policies? You know, Lagos State is so important in the, in fact, very important not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. If Lagos State was to be another country, is the fourth largest economy in Africa. And the per capita income of Lagos State ranks with some of the many developed countries in the world. What are some of the successful policies the Lagos State has implemented to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship? And how can they be replicated at the national level? Do you consider a support for innovation as critical support to stem, you know, or ameliorate, or completely send, you know, away youth unemployment, as the case may be?
Thank you very much, Prof, and good afternoon. It's a privilege, and I'm really excited about the launch of Innovation to Market. Honestly, it's a great platform that is also happening at Unilag. I'm also excited to share the platform with so many esteemed panelists, collaborators in the ecosystem. So our job at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is primarily one of our core deliverables is driving innovation within Lagos State. As of the end of last year, Lagos was the innovation capital of Africa. So you cannot ignore Lagos when you're talking about innovation in Africa. So when we look at it from a policy perspective, there's still a lot to be done. But I think one of the things we've done successfully is first, providing support to techpreneurs. We started a program which we called the Workspace Vouchers, and the idea around it was to make sure that if you had an idea and your challenge was power, infrastructure, whatever the issue around that was, you could go into a hub that would give you 24 hours power, that would give you peers that you can collaborate with on the project, and generally take off everything that is administrative in that regard. We've issued over 400 workspace vouchers to startups in that regard. It has been one of the very successful things. And what we've done with that is then collaborate with the entire network of hubs in Lagos. So we have a collaboration with the Innovation System Network, where it's really around bringing everybody to the table. It's extremely important. Even as I hear everything we're discussing today, collaboration is extremely important because we will go further. When we then saw that the pipeline of innovation was drying up, but we were not getting enough applications, we started the program called the Idea Hub. And the trust of that was to make sure that very young people that had idea, no idea was too stupid for you to, as long as you can articulate the idea, we wanted to help you, handhold you through some series of programs to get you to some level to know whether it was really something to continue with or something to bin. So the Idea Hub has been extremely successful. We're supporting the hubs through policy as well, through loans. And the idea is the hubs can expand so they can take more people in, obviously then supporting much more of the techpreneurs within the ecosystem. But I just want to emphasize that when we think about the big things around last week, Lagos State Research and Innovation Council, which the former VC of Unilag sits on, is funding by the government to promote research. There's still a lot to be done with funding for research. It's not enough. We're not near where we should be. Because I look at it from an angle of, why are we not generating 300 IPs a year? Commercialize another 100. When they're commercialized, you're creating a sustainable structure because that money comes back into that research fund to make sure that we're building the next set of research. But I like what Professor Amuda said about conflicting goals. But the most important thing is people understanding that connect between market, what is required, so that you can actually have utility. The gaps will be identified in the market. That's what innovation should plug. Systems, products. So there's still so much more to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tadu. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do I have Ian online? Okay.
Yeah,
Ian, if you can hear us, can you just say hi to me? Ian?
Hi there. I'm here. Can you hear me okay? I can
Ian,
hear
can you
you.
unmute yourself and say hi to me?
Hi, I've got you loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, maybe I will come back to Ian, you know.
I do. I hear you.
Afterwards. Oh, okay, great. Say something, Ian.
Yes, I've got you loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
Technical guys, please. Can I have Ian? Can you?
Good.
Okay, Ian.
Hi there. How are you?
Hey, yeah, it's wonderful here. Very hot. I hope it's but I know for sure you're not in slow now. Thank you, Ian, for joining us. We really appreciate you. And I do believe you've been joining us and you've been following what some of the panelists have been saying. We just need to defer to you now to have your thought, you know, alongside what the 5 panelists that I have here physically have said, if you have listened to them. And I go to you this point in time to just ask you this question, that in your experience, what are some of the successful innovation models that you have seen in developed nations? Now, we're very specific and deliberate with it, that you've seen in developed nations that can be adopted in Nigeria. And how were they implemented, and how do you think they can be implemented here in Nigeria? Did you capture that?
I did indeed.
Oh, you did?
No. I've got. Yes, I heard you. I'm getting feedback on the line, but otherwise I've got it.
Yeah, over to you now in 3 minutes. Thank you, Ian.
Good. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm just going to take my headset off here so I don't hear myself coming back here. First of all, I would like to offer my thanks for being invited to join the panel, and I want to say hello to everybody. I'd also like to say a quick hello to those who are in attendance. I very much appreciate being here with you today. So I think the short answer to this is that if we looked to specific innovation ecosystems, we probably would find ourselves running aground a little bit. The research that I've done seems to be pretty clear that innovation ecosystems are the sorts of things that tend to evolve in place. So if we looked at Silicon Valley, or if we looked at the Flanders digital innovation ecosystem, what we would see is something that's very specialized to the location that it finds itself in. And the consequence of this is that what we probably don't think we need to do is to say, that's what the folks over in Silicon Valley are doing. Let's do the same thing here. I think what we're looking at is how do we specialize in the location in which we find ourselves? And to me, this is very, very encouraging, because it doesn't mean that we have to be sort of copycats. It doesn't mean that we have to be replicating what others have done. In fact, if you look at competitive theory, it would say something like, find some point of differentiation upon which you can hang your hat, something that others cannot do. So then you look at Nigeria and you see a gigantic market, an immensely talented population. You see nothing but opportunity. And the question then is, well, how do we leverage this? What do we do about this? And part of the question seems to be, how do we get into a level where there's a concept called economic complexity? And economic complexity is the study of the interaction effects between levels of government, between the private sector, research parks, universities, entrepreneurs. And when we can measure those effects, we can see how complex a given economy is. Now, unfortunately, at this point in time, Nigeria ranks about 129th in the world in economic complexity. This is a measure, by the way, developed by Harvard University. But what we have, again, is a highly talented population. So it turns out that there are certain things I think we can do that sound formulaic, and I think rather much are formulaic, that would allow us to follow steps in which, say, Lagos as an example, can become a leading innovation ecosystem without having to do the same sorts of things that you would see in the Silicon Valley or other places. And I've got about 6 steps here. I don't know if I've got much time still to go through that. And if I do have a few seconds, I could certainly run through it if that's okay. And I'm not sure if I've still got the audio.
Yeah, it's okay.
We're good? Okay, good. Lovely. Okay. So those things very quickly. Is one's leadership very clearly. But the point about leadership isn't to say, oh, there's 1 or 2 good leaders. Of course there are. But what we need to see is leaders who are dedicated to leading innovation ecosystems and infrastructure across the country. So it would be point 1. The second point would be focus, but that's particular to government. And I've spoken to many people, and what they have said is if government cannot articulate innovation as an essential tenet of their focus and the top 2 or 3 things that are on their agenda, they simply won't be able to do it. It won't happen. So government's ability to focus on innovation and see that this is a critical opportunity for us is the sort of thing that has to be present. The third thing I think that's utterly vital is the public demonstration of private sector participation in Nigerian innovation. When that's present, that sends a very strong signal to other market players, particularly international players. And the fourth thing, very quickly, would be interaction effects, right? When we have people who are tremendously skilled and we have them collaborating together, we get an interaction effect. And those interaction effects develop specialized skills, specialized know-how. And that know-how translates into IP. It translates into tremendous levels of innovation. So specialized individuals collaborating together is really, really important. But the other thing, of course, which is obvious around interaction, is the participation of all of the main actors that you would see in an innovation ecosystem. So you want to see the public sector, the government, you want to see the academic institutions, you want to see the private sector, foundations, civil society, the whole bit. And when those things are present, you get those interaction effects. And the last couple of things here that we should quickly roll through is this notion of the development of know-how. But what we've seen, I think, is a large number of Nigerians have gone to work in places like the United States, and as a group are out earning the American average. So what you're finding is that very talented people are leaving the country and ending up in other places. Well, what happens then is that those people develop that know-how in another place, right? What we really want is for know-how to develop in a place so that it can develop and be more strong. So there's no question then that the development of skills and translating those skills into know-how that can be applied to a specific industry or a specific area is tremendously important. And then the last thing clearly would be specialized infrastructure. Right? We can't be all things to all people. Right. So if we can get to a point where we can say, this is the particular infrastructure that we need in this particular place to solve these particular problems, then I think we've got an opportunity. And I'm very sorry if I've gone on too long. I realized I only had 3 minutes, but I sort of maybe commandeered the stage there for a moment. I apologize for that. And I hope that was heard properly. I do apologize. I see in the chat there was an echo piece. I had the same problem, by the way.
More effective in fostering entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one thing is clear that we need more entrepreneurs so that they can create the jobs and not the other way. No, we don't want job seekers, and we need to create that very structure and make sure our economy is literally spitting that out. And that means we must have those hubs in every corner. As much as we agree that physical infrastructure may have little to do with education nowadays, one of the challenges in Nigeria is still access to hardware, to physical infrastructure. So how do we make sure that it's decentralized in the infrastructure for hubs, for education is totally decentralized so that we can have access, so younger people, a lot more young people can have access to the equipment, access to the mentors, to the advisors, to build the entrepreneurial ideas and make sure that this becomes commercial. I can't imagine having somebody from Ikorodu having to come to Unilag every day. After a while, he will give up on this whole issue. So how do we make sure that we decentralize as much? It's a critical part of making sure innovation thrives. They must have access. And I think that is one thing that has been lacking when we think about the work we've been doing for a couple of years. We need more decentralized infrastructure. We need access to the mentors. We need access to the right hubs, equipped hubs that people can have access to. It will do a lot in creating entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very apt. Thank you very much. Professor Amuda, in 1 minute. How can research carried out? You told us a lot of problem that time, in fact, very fantastic, for us to know why industry and academic it's been a little bit difficult, for them to work together to pursue this innovation objective. How then can research carried out in Nigerian universities be more industry-centric? How can it be more industry-centric? In 1 minute, sir, because we alluded to so many things at that time. Over to you.
Hello. Now, whatever we do should actually be need driven. In as much as it is need driven, then it will also always be attractive to the industry. And there are just three models or three tripods, or there are just tripods for this to be done. One is the government taking the initiative. Two is the industry also taking the initiative. And the third leg is what we now call development partners. When these three come together, they can influence, and they can also influence education. At that point in time, the education we are giving, irrespective whether it is physical infrastructure, whether it is decentralized, is actually anchored on solving societal problems. Then we will have buy-in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for being very apt. Thank you very much. I think that is equally apt. Juliet, Google has invested in several tech startups in Africa. What are some key factors that Google considers when deciding to invest in a startup, because our students are here? And how does it support this company beyond funding?
Thank you very much. Starting with the end of the question, so we have Google for Startups initiative and other initiatives as well. And the support includes mentoring. Actually, that's the biggest part of the support, because we find that, beyond funding, a lot of support around just even knowing how to, package your product, how to run a business, how to even share your idea, how to pitch, and so on, are very important. And the entrepreneurial journeys can be a challenging one. So a lot of mentoring, training, access to communities, infrastructure to be able to do your work, and then, of course, funding. And the things that we look at, one is just innovation, to the reason why we're all here. Looking at innovative ideas to solve local problems or problems within the field. So that's one thing. Another thing is, just looking at the leadership team, right? Who are the people that are driving this startup? Because the competence is demonstrated among the leadership team is quite key, and most investors will tell you that sometimes that's one of the most important factors. And we've had a lot of startups go through our accelerator program. Flutterwave, Paystack we're a cohort on the program. But the important thing about that as well is we've had a lot of startups go through the program, but we haven't had everyone emerging into an Andela or a Flutterwave or a Paystack, which also speaks to the people themselves, right? Being able to take the opportunity, take the information, the support, and making it into something great. So, you know, the leadership team is critical. And then we think about, you know, product market fit and, alignments with, areas where we see potential for growth, where we see, opportunities for just really making a difference at scale, and, alignment with our own objectives as well. So those are some of the things that we look at in, supporting startups.
Great. Are you guys tired? Oh, put us together for this amazing, panelists. Thank you very much. All right, Adenike. So the turn is yours now. If I may ask you your opinion, what are some of the key challenges that innovators in Nigeria face in scaling their products, and how can this be addressed? Many will start as startup. We know that at scaling, we lose so many of them. So what do you think we need to do?
Okay, so very quickly, I think the first thing is what Juliet said. It's also the person that is leading the idea on the innovation and the team that they can get to be able to take the journey with them, because we don't lack ideas. So the talent and the additional talent the person attracts is very important. I think for the other answers, I'll break them to the ones in their control and the ones that are not in their control. So in their control, it's also understanding the market and the size of the market that you can target. A lot of times we find a lot of people looking at our population and saying that because we have a large population, they are your addressable market and they have the willingness, capacity, and ability to be able to pay for that. So if startups or if founders don't correctly identify and validate that that market has the size that will then enable the growth and the pathway of the business, then that's a problem. I think the other thing we then see is like other skills. So around even building the financial management and competence and capability skills, and that's particularly for young founders. For a long time at Faith, most of the people that came to our programs would have had, 80% of them would have had at least 5 years experience before then coming to found a business at whatever type of the business. Then about 7 years ago, we noticed that most of them had founded their business from second to third year in tertiary institutions, which is great, right? Because they take risks, they go, they're excited and all the like. But what also happens is that sometimes that experience of working with people, understanding systems, structures, understanding, how to engage with people and all of that is then missing from that. And that's why the role of incubators, programs that enable giving them that understanding of, you need corporate governance, you need accountability, you need systems and all of that. So I'll put that as one part. Then I guess the other part is then the environment. So sometimes the policy can come, and because sometimes the founder has also not gone to the length to understand the policies that impact the space that they're working in, and then a policy that may have even been in the system before is then reintroduced, and it catches them by surprise, and then they have to close down their business. I think sometimes we do have a lot of regulatory overreach too, and we've seen that also as a challenge. So I'll sort of I think I'll leave with those as suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adenike. That was very hard. I hope we've not kept you waiting, Thank you. We come to you. Now, practical experience. You've worked on a number of successful startups, including Andela and Flutterwave. In your opinion, what are some of the key elements that lead to a startup success? And how can Nigerian startups apply these principles to achieve sustainable growth? So this is important. I'll give you 2.5 minutes to handle this. Don't tell us all the sweet things. Again, tell us some of the things you went through. They always say Flutterwave. So let them know what you went through, but then how were you successful and how can you be successful? Yep.
Absolutely. So I think a big part of it is really defining the problem you're trying to solve and understanding it at a very deep level. When we were building Andela, we had multiple calls where we studied quite a bit about the employment landscape. We knew all the numbers around what the challenge was. We hadn't even come up with an idea per se. We had some concept of what we wanted to do, but before we put any resources, we wanted to deeply understand what the problem was. And that was where we started to look at the data, which was basically saying that, you know, unemployment was a structural issue. It had a lot to do with economic factors that were out of people's control. You had to be able to shift the income base out of geographic reach so that you would be able to create jobs at another global macro level. And then, and what the flywheel was. So earn dollar, you're able to pay Naira salaries, and as dollar continued to devalue, you'd be able to pay higher Naira salaries, and then you'd be able to continue the model. I mean, so that was, and we also had to be very wise about evolving the model as we started to see other forms of information show up, so that we could do it. Same thing with Flutterwave. I mean, to the layman's eye, people looked at the payments industry and thought that IntoSwitch had won. And so everybody was like, why starting another payments company? But the reality was, IntoSwitch had just only succeeded converting bank balances to cash. Sorry. Succeeded in turning balances to the map data. So most of their it was literally and most of the volume coming from ATMs. Even though online no necessarily at the time, I think Switch member was saying that the entire scale of 80 million naira. And we're like, that's not possible, right? Because we could see the kind of volumes that Jumia was doing, but that was more than that, but they were limited to cash on delivery. Then we looked again into the deeper market factors, did a lot of work to understand what other areas payments need to work. We discovered a big secret that made Flutterwave successful, which was a lot of merchants weren't adopting payments because they realized that adopting one method of payment locked them into that method of payment. So when another payment method showed up, they either had to reject that payment, which no merchants will do, or they had to spend additional funds to be able to integrate that payment method. So what they needed was for somebody to integrate all the payment methods so that if they implemented one payment method, they had all the payment methods. And so if you remember early Flutterwave, anyhow you wanted to pay, right? So, you know, card, bank accounts. At one point we used to pick up cash, whatever it was, right? We would collect it because we knew that the merchant just wanted one single check transferring to their bank account the following day. So that's just one element. You really, really have to understand the problem, not your idea, the problem that you're trying to solve. The second thing is the team. I always tell people that the thing about life is that we're all conditioned to believe that if we work hard and we do the right things, we're supposed to win. And that is true. But the honest truth is that everybody's doing that in life, good or bad people. So you need to have an edge in business for you to be able to win. And so we didn't put together a team of our best friends. We actually, I didn't know GB and I didn't know Leke from anywhere before we started Flutterwave. They weren't my friends. I just knew they were the best people in payments in Nigeria. And so when we sat down together and I did my background checks and they did their background checks, it was very clear that we could work together and do the business. Same thing with Flutterwave. I mean, Andela, we were friends, but at the same time, I mean, we were all very distinguished in our careers, right? My co-founder, Jeremy, had taken a company public in the US. My other co-founder, Christina, was Harvard PhD in education. I mean, it was a team of very, 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 very good people. And one consistent mistake I see a lot of startups make is that people think it's an ego trip. And so they try to build startups with their friends that are not as good as they are, so that they can continue to be the alpha in the relationship. And there was one piece of advice that one of my very early mentors told me, and he was like, look, if one person can build a $10 million business, and he finds somebody else who can build a $10 million business, if both of them combine, they're going to build a $1 billion business. And I was like, that math doesn't make sense, right? But it turns out that he was right? By having a team of two people who are extremely good, but perhaps at different things and can do good things, they build it. So you need to set the bar for a founding team extremely high. And I'll say the third thing is focus on the right things, right? A lot of people build businesses to be seen. And in the very early days, it actually doesn't really help you, right? Many people, if you ask somebody when did Andela start, they'll probably tell you 2016, when Mark Zuckerberg came. But by that time, the business was already doing tens of millions of dollars in revenue. All the hard work was between 2014 to 2016, when a lot of it was grunt work, grind, going on the streets, coming to Unilag, handing out flyers. That was the real work. Same thing with Flutterwave. I mean, Flutterwave, a lot of people who perhaps got to know about Flutterwave may think Flutterwave started in 2017, right? But a lot of the really hard work went in between 2014 to 2016. Similarly, I joined. The founding team was working on stuff. I came and joined the founding team in 2016 and took them a different direction in 2017. But by actually, most people probably tell you 2021 when we became a unicorn, or when we went on Big Brother in 2019. But a lot of the work had been done before then. So if you just launch a business and it has no traction, don't focus on websites, don't do a big launch event, you don't need an office, don't worry about looking good for pictures, don't talk to press, there's a long list of things that you don't do, because it doesn't matter for pushing the bottom line. The most important things that you should do are talk to your customers every day, make sure you have a deeper understanding of a problem, make a sale, and those are the things to focus on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ian. That was a very great one and a good one. Unilag was part of your success stories, so they were coming here truly that time, met with me, distributed flyers, wanted our students, and just a great one. Well done. Yeah. We're just going to go around 1 minute and just going to be your last words. Maybe before I do that, we may not be we may not balance it if you don't pick maybe 2 persons from you can say, just 2 persons, one from this side and another one from that side. Do you want to allow us to take 3, 1 per row? Director, do we have the time? 2, okay. So I'll take the guy with a beautiful hair color. I need a lady. All right, so I'm sorry guys, so it's for this lady here. So, all right, so you're going to be very brief and concise, 30 seconds, and direct it to whoever you actually want to get clarification from.
All right, thank you. My question is directed to Ian. Now, as much as we all recognize the need for innovation, not all ideas succeed. In fact, more ideas fail than succeed. I mean, especially in Nigeria. My first question is, are there some areas of innovation still early to go into? We saw how a very promising startup shut down operation in recent weeks by the name LaserPay. And secondly, with VC funding for ideas on the low, I mean, in the past few weeks, we know that not all ideas right now are getting funded in Nigeria. Some have had to shut down operations because of lack of funding. And
ask the question.
Okay, yes, all right. So now, how do you suggest founders with no background, with no connection or whatsoever get funding? Because right now it seems as if warm intros
the question is,
are all that matters.
Thank you. So hold on, Inye. So the lady, yeah. Do not worry, we're going to be having a lot of sessions as we continue in the next 9 months that will bring a lot of speakers together. There's still a lot of them here that you're going to listen to in the future. All right, the lady.
Okay.
Your name, sorry, what's your name the other time? Oluwaseun, your name and your question.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Chemelanos. Please directed to Prof. Okay. He made mention of a curriculum that stifles innovation and entrepreneurship. And I remember that was a part of a program where we had a sort of a conversation with the industry, and they mentioned they needed students that understand how to operate 3D printers, CNC machines, 3D lasers, CNC machines, and all of that. But because they don't find, they spend a lot of money on human resource development. So there's always this gap between them absorbing the students. Now, because we couldn't get conversations around curriculum review, we developed a program called Engineering for Industry, where we wanted to, take these skills to the students. Now, there are conversations around curriculum review, there are submissions around the curriculum review to, review this curriculum so that students begin to learn industry-relevant skills.
Okay, fantastic question. Okay, Enye, 1 minute. Prof, 1 minute. So that you now, take the other one. Enye first.
Okay,
okay. No, just 2. Oh. Okay, the last comment. So. Oh, I only gave 2. Oh, you permitted just 2. All right. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try. I'll be very fast. I think, first of all, failure is part of the innovation process. So if you look at it as something that shouldn't happen, then that's not innovation. Even for me, when I first moved to Nigeria in 2013, I did a startup called Fora. I don't think anybody's ever heard of it. It failed. And before that, I did another startup called Bookneto while I was also a student at the University of Waterloo. It failed. So if you didn't fail, you're unlikely to build a successful company. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in terms of funding, I think when you're a startup, it's very easy to believe that the most important thing that will make your startup successful is funding. And there's a lot of the last 2 years that felt like that became a law. But in actual fact, it's not true. And in many ways, the reason why a lot of startups are falling is because they don't have any solid fundamentals. They don't have customers. They don't have a business case. They're not really making anybody's life better. Nobody wants to pay for it, and they're expensive. So the market is resetting. And so if you want to get funding, there are really just 3 ways to do it. Number 1, work at a startup that you think could be successful, especially in this time, so you can build a relationship with a successful founder and learn how to raise money. Learn how to build a successful company, and then that founder also will imbue you with trust and help you raise money. Number 2, spend a lot of time in a new area, and what new areas like, for example, machine learning. All the research papers are online. Spend 24 hours for the next 6 months just studying it and building things on it, and ultimately you get to something that works. And number 3, you can get lucky, but it's not a very sustainable approach.
Thank you very much, Inye. Thank you very much. Let's put hands together for that, Hunter. Okay, Prof, 1 minute, please.
Thank you.
1 minute, Prof.
In the last 1 year or thereabouts, even before then, Unilag actually identified this gap. And today, we have about 4 or 5 platforms in Unilag where we are enhancing capacity. Fortunately for us, NUC came up with CCMax, even though many of us were not deeply involved. But we used that opportunity to change the narrative. Today, in our Faculty of Engineering, in our CC Max, it is specific and compulsory that our students go through this. In fact, we have a program that we started in Metama, we call Students Learning Experience Enhancement Program. This is to instill in them industry-specific, or what we call 21st century industry in demand skill, 3D printing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and what have you. So we are coming up and things are picking up. to deliver the need of the society. Like one of the questions raised the other time that ideas fail or acceptability, affordability, or what we call the economics, and now another variable is the sustainability. So our students, forget whatever you have come here to study. Try to embrace opportunities that the university is unleashing to us so that we become solution providers rather than job seekers. This is the only way to grow the enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. I think for me, what I want to encourage the students around is research, research, research. You have the time now, so you can do it. When Inye says, know the problem you're trying to solve and know it deeply, it takes a lot of research. In 9 months, we'll like to see how many ideas have come onto the platform, how many ideas we've seen, what level did we take them to? Maybe some will drop off. We're not thinking it will be 100% successful. But it's how to see how innovative even the university will be around this industry engagement, because it's extremely important. There are models in Canada and Germany. I'm not saying they will probably be plug and play, but there are ideas around where the industry brings their machinery into school and the engineering students are using it to learn and innovate, providing solutions for the company on how to improve that technology for them. We must be ready, even as the university, to innovate our industry engagement to improve the results. Thank you very much.
Wow. I've been on the hot seat since. Wow. Can we put our hands together for this amazing panelists? You can do better for them. Ian, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Adenike, thank you very much. We appreciate you. You let us sit down. We'll take a picture before you leave. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate all of you. A quick one. I think there's an innovation for me here. Sorry, can you get me the message, because I paralyzed my phone. I don't want. Okay, so thank you very much, DVCD. So thank you very much. The industry giants that are here. Students listening very well. We have a CEO of Expanso in this place that is about to launch another close to like 7-8 million funded project for the engineering students. The Jimakole, can you stand up? We'll soon come back to engineering students now. All the projects, we're bringing it to the market. That is beyond what we're doing here. The one we funded last year, a discussion was around it yesterday. Close to 300 million naira now are coming into that project. And that
Two more items. Yours truly is not a proponent of mathematics. It's something I detest so much. The formula can be very annoying. Almighty formula. Minus b square root b square minus 4ac over 2. But I keep details about timing. This panel session was supposed to span 55 minutes, but based on my timing, Professor Sunday Adebisi and these amazing panelists spent 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 36 seconds. A round of applause for all of them. Future Africa, a round of applause for him. Executive Director of Fraternity Foundation, Juliet Oman, Google Director, West Africa. So Akim Amuda, very own Director of CITS and the Pioneer Head Unilag Innovation Units. Teju Abisoye, Executive Secretary, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And like we always say in local parlance, all the way from yonder, founder, the groundbreakers. A round of applause. And the last but not the least, our own Professor Sunday Adebisi, the moderator, Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Center. A round of applause for him. The monies I am hearing are shocking me. Please, I have an innovation. Come and help my ministry. And you are listening, Professor Adebisi. One of the many things I want to combat in this Lagos state is when people hoot the horn. They hoot like there's something wrong with them. In Rwanda, when you hoot the horn for a reason that is not just, you go for a psychiatric test because they think something is wrong with your cerebellum. But in Nigeria, even you are waiting for someone to pick up early in the morning, instead of you to call that person, you'll be pam, 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 pam. So that's my own innovation in ensuring that people are sane when they are driving. So please fund me, all of you. For the vote of thanks, Dr. Patrick Konji. A round of applause for him. Brief vote of thanks. And then we close and we call it a wrap. It's been a wonderful day. Students, I'm sure you enjoyed it, right? Why are you on a low-key? Food don't reach inside now. Great Akoka! Great Akoka! Greatest of the greatest of the greatest Akoka!
It's been a wonderful day. Let me start by saying a big thank you to the university management team for their immense support. To be honest with you all, this office you're seeing today actually started as the Research and Innovation Office. And with time has, transited to the Research Management Office and the Innovation and Technology Management Office. Now, we have leveraged over this year on a university management that is committed, that is devoted, that is zealous for good works, and that is keen on seeing research make some dynamic contribution to the society. I don't think that ever since I started working in the Research Management Office, which was previously the Research and Innovation Office, that there has been any strategic move or proposal that we have tendered before the university management and haven't gotten their approval. They have always lent their immense support to see this office make significant contribution, not just to the university community, but to the society at large. So, Ma, I want to thank specially the university management. Kindly, please, Ma, convey our profound gratitude on behalf of the Research Management Office and the Innovation and Technology Management Office that we are here today by virtue of that great support. We thank you for the administrative support. We thank you for the institutionalization of this agenda, and we thank you for everything you've been doing for this office and for supporting this project. Secondly, I would like to convey our gratitude to the funding agency, to RISA, Research Innovation Systems for Africa, and the UKAID, that is the UK Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. I want to thank especially Mrs. Omishore, am I right? Omishore and Jones, right? Thanks so much for the funding. Now, this funding opportunity didn't just come by chance. It is keenly competed for. I could recall while we were writing this proposal that as soon as I saw the call, I had that impression that this must be a keenly competed for grant. And because it was so, elaborate. And we knew we were going to stand a lot of competitors in getting this. But we put in our best foot, and thankfully we got it. I want to assure you that the university management is providing us all the support needed to ensure that we deliver on this project. So we are thanking you. I want to thank the panelists who have been here. For the sake of time, I wouldn't be mentioning their name. I had the list on my hands. I wanted to call them all one by one, but I'm being prompted left, right, and center to round up quickly. And then also our special guests. Our guests from NUC, I want to say thank you very much, sir. And for you students here, thank you so much for turning up. And permit me to say this, that the world is rapidly transiting from the industrial economy to the knowledge economy. And that you as youthful ones here, you hold all the aces. There's a huge advantage because when I look at it, Africa has more than 60% of its population aged less than 60. But in the developed world, we have an aging population. And a lot of this, I don't know it's about me, if it's me, a lot of this seems to be associated with the young ones, the youthful ones, when you talk about innovation, when you talk about technology transfer and all that. So I think we're at a vantage position. We have an advantage, and the ball is now in your court. We want to see this nation move forward. We want to see Africa move forward. We want to see that progress now, and it's your time to be on that leading edge. So in rounding up generally, I want to say a big thank you. It's been a wonderful program. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for the funding agents. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patrick Okonji. But before we call it a wrap, I just want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all those who joined us online. We had a large number of them, and it was courtesy of the CITS. Thank you, CITS, for all you do. Our communication units, they projected this in a good light, led by Alaja Alaga Adejoke. Thank you. And of course, to our security who provided security services, and to members of the estate of the REM and not of the REC, the journalists, we'd like to say thank you. Dr. Ahmed Yunusa for the closing prayer. Okay, in the absence of that, as we close, my parting shot to everyone, you must make a choice to take a chance, or else your life will never change. My name is Oluwaseun Ajidagba. Adios, amigos. Gracias. Obrigado. Siabonga. Danke. Merci. God bless you all.
Somebody sleeping in my bed.
Sure. Please, group picture with our guests, please. Group picture.